98 FM's Dublin Talks. Call 6797 981.
And good morning from Adrian Kennedy. How are you this morning? Hope everything is good with you. We're here until midday today. Listen to that. Awful, isn't it? That's yesterday's weather. And it's cleared up a little bit now, but looking at the weather for the week, that's this week's weather. Isn't it just miserable? And it got me to thinking about how to entertain oneself. That'd be nice when the weather is that miserable. I found myself yesterday at home, and under normal circumstances, like our front garden needs to be cut. I'd have got out and spent a couple of hours doing that. No, it was lashing rain. I'd have taken the dogs for a long walk. No long walk in that lovely weather. So I want to hear from you about how you entertain yourself when the weather is just, listen to it. And like I said, it has cleared up a little bit, and it's going to clear up a little bit today, but then it's back with a vengeance tomorrow by the looks of it. As I look at my weather app on my phone, more rain tomorrow, more rain Thursday, miserable out weekend. So I want you to send me a WhatsApp voice note right now to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. When the weather is like that, what do you do to entertain yourself? How do you keep yourself occupied? What did you do yesterday, for example, when the weather was that miserable? I found myself not having a clue what to do. You see, we have been spoiled a little bit this year. The weather has been slightly better than normal. Well, it was certainly during the lockdown period. And I think we're being punished for it now. It's like the man upstairs, if he's there, he said, you had lovely weather in March, April and May. I've had enough of that. You need to feel like you're living in Ireland again. Anyway, I want you to send me a WhatsApp voice note right now to 0877 98 98 98. What do you do when the weather's as miserable as it was yesterday? Send me a WhatsApp voice note right now to 0877 98 98 98, or better still, call me on 6797 981. As I said, it's going to clear up a little bit today, which only means it might not rain this afternoon. Let me look. Oh, no, a bit of rain this afternoon, but a bit of sunshine as well. Typical Irish weather. So, send me a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. When the weather is like that, what do you do to entertain yourself? How do you keep yourself busy? Because without the garden and without the dogs for a walk, I'd nothing to do all day. Well, I went for a little bit of a drive, but that was about the size of it. That took me a half an hour. And then just sat at home. And I kind of flicked through Netflix and I couldn't find anything to watch. And so what did you do yesterday to entertain yourself when the weather was as miserable as it was yesterday? Jason, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Jason?
Good morning, Adrian. Good morning.
Jason, you're driving in this miserable weather.
Well, I've been living in this miserable weather now since it started, and last night was just unreal. I'm not sure if I slept under a drain or something, but it was like a tap dancing on my truck all night.
It was like a tap dancing on our window ledge last night as well.
Well, you imagine sleeping in a steel box out in the middle of that?
No, not really. To be honest with you,
there was no room at the inns last night, so I had to do an out lay-by. I did.
Yeah. So, how would you, if you were at home now, how would you entertain yourself when the weather is that miserable?
Drink.
Oh.
No, it has to do with that. I wouldn't be home that often, and anyway.
Right.
You know, I only go home at weekends.
But if you were at home, drink.
Well, I have enough kids in that house. Honest to God, I'm going to be bored.
So, so drink is what you do to keep yourself occupied, basically.
No, not all the time. I have the kids there with me. No, but you know what I mean. I play with the kids in the evenings when I'm sure you can't even go out anywhere now because they're throwing you out at 10 o'clock at night.
Well, that's true as well. Yeah, that's very true. And I have said before, if we had weather like this during the lockdown, it would have been much more miserable. It would have been
God,
awful.
I'm on the other end of it. It was rough for me because it was too hot in the truck. You know that type of ride. This isn't it, but I could not imagine being stuck. I honestly see the people that done it. Fair play to them. And see the ones in apartments, Adrian, with no gardens, like that literally were stuck. At least most of us, a lot of us would have had back gardens, front gardens. You know that way you live down the country, you have a lot of fields. But see, cramped up in Dublin. I'm glad I got out of Dublin when I did.
All right, good man, Jason. Thanks very much indeed. I'd like to hear from you. Send me a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. When the weather is like that, like it was yesterday, it's going to be like that later on in the week as well. In fact, we've closed on the washing line out the back, and they've been there since Saturday. Yeah. Dave sent me this WhatsApp voice note.
Hey Adrian, you can't beat a good movie on Netflix or something like that on your phone or tablet sitting under the parasol in the garden in the lashings of rain. Obviously the parasol has to be waterproof, and just it's spilling down around you, you're dry and just chilling. It's fantastic.
Actually, there is nothing nicer than sitting out in the rain if you can, if you have some sort of cover. And it's not particularly cold at the moment. It's quite mild. So sitting out in the rain, and maybe I'll give that a try today, actually. Sitting out in the rain is quite pleasant when the weather's as miserable as this, isn't it? Send me a WhatsApp voice note right now to 0877 98 98 98 and let me know, what do you do when the weather's as miserable as it has been lately? Dermot, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Dermot?
Good morning, Adrian. How are you?
Us Irish are all obsessed with the weather. It's either too hot or too cold or too wet. At this moment, it is too wet. What do you do when the weather is this wet and miserable?
When I'm off work, Adrian, I go fishing.
Really?
Yeah. And you have to remember as well, there's no such thing as bad weather. There's bad clothes for weather, but there's no bad weather.
That's very true. I have a raincoat that I'm wearing today as it happens, but it's brutal. So I'll have to go and buy a new raincoat that's not as brutal.
If you have the right gear, you'll go out in any weather. And that's the truth. Like we have, like today, like it is.
Oh, sorry, it's getting thundery now. Oh, it's getting really rough now.
Well, you wouldn't be on a lake now if it was thundering a lake.
No, but when it's raining like it has been, like it was yesterday, no bother to you to sit beside a lake doing a bit of fishing.
Ah, Jesus, not at all. No, it's great for the head.
Yeah, actually, do you do it on your own or do you have company?
It's the best thing for social distancing you'll ever be get, because anyone that's fishing, the last thing you want is a crowd of lads beside you. You have your own little spot. Go away, like leave the missus behind, the whole lot, and carry on.
And come here, where do you go fishing?
Well, I'd normally, not less like this now, but I'd normally do a little bit of pair fishing, say in skerries, for when the mackerel is in, and then I do an awful lot of coarse fishing as well on the likes of the canals.
Very nice, huh? Okay.
It's handy, like.
I've always found it. I've always found the thought of it just boring. But it's...
Well, you see, that's why it's called fishing and not catching, Adrian.
Oh, right, yeah.
If it was called catching, everyone would do it. But it's for the head. You go down and if you have a bit in your mind and you just want to get away from it all.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you catch anything or not. That's not the point. The point is just getting your head together. A few hours to yourself, away from everyone, lock the phone off and carry on.
And how long would you spend on average? Like 3-4 hours or?
No, we could spend, Jesus, we could go overnight. We could just disappear and say, here, I'm going fishing, and that'd be it. If it was off for 2 days in a row, I probably wouldn't come back till the next morning.
It sounds wonderful now, to be honest. And in the rain, you have your proper rain gear, you're not getting soaked.
No.
Do you ever
a little bivvy up and that's it, and then just carry on.
Do you ever catch anything?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
It would be after the likes of carp on the lakes and stuff like that. All
right, very good. Sounds wonderful, actually, Dave. Especially when it's mild, and it is nice and mild at the moment. It's just miserably wet. But all right, Dermot. Yep, that's true. Thanks, Dermot. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can also send me a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. When the weather is as miserable as it was yesterday, how do you occupy yourself? What do you do? Because I found myself yesterday, honestly, I didn't know what to be doing. And because the grass, I'm looking out at the grass and it needs to be cut. No, You can't cut it in that weather. I'd love to have taken the dogs out for a nice long stroll out in Malahide yesterday. No, couldn't do that. Shauna, where are you supposed to be at the moment?
I'm supposed to be on my honeymoon in 30-degree heat.
Oh no. 30-degree heat where?
We were just flying out to the Canaries for a couple of weeks. We were supposed to get married on Friday and we were flying out on Monday. So supposed to go yesterday.
Oh no. So the wedding was obviously put off till when?
It's May 2021 now, hopefully.
Hopefully is right.
Yeah.
So May next year. And have you rebooked the holiday for next year?
Yeah, still hopeful. Still going to fly out the Monday straight after.
Okay, so you've literally just moved the whole thing to next year, but you should be in the lovely sunshine of Gran Canaria at the moment, or wherever. Yeah. Well, isn't that awful? But the good thing is, I was going to say the good thing is the weather's miserable here, but actually that's the opposite of what I was trying to say, because there's nothing worse than going on a holiday when the weather is lovely here. But hopefully the weather will be just as miserable next year, except for your wedding day, when you're going away on the holiday next year. It will happen. Have faith. All right, Shauna, thanks very much indeed. Come here, how do you entertain yourself when the weather's that miserable?
We're just back from Tesco. It's not much entertaining in it, to be honest.
No, just walk around Tesco, with your face mask on and then just back home again,
That's it. Movies on and turn on the fire and just
Absolutely.
Relax.
All right, well, enjoy your day. Thanks very much indeed. I'm thinking, now I stress I'm only thinking, because I did it a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned this to you, but I'm thinking of doing this today.
So in the rain yesterday, Adrian, I put my wetsuit on and I went into the sea for a swim.
Ah, lovely, Janine. I am contemplating doing it one of the days this week, because I believe that there is nothing nicer than swimming in the sea when it's lashing rain. As long as it's mild enough, and it is fairly mild at the moment. Now, Valeria had something very different to occupy herself.
Hi, Jeremy. In this miserable weather, I played the warscapes and I crocheted flip-flops for sunny days.
You've crocheted flip-flops? Fantastic. Send a picture in to me, Valeria. Oh, she did send a picture, did she? Oh, okay, hang on. I'll try and find her picture of her flip-flops. But anyway, she sent a... they're beautiful. She has sent me a photograph of the flip-flops that she crocheted yesterday while it was lashing rain. They're fantastic. They're lovely white crocheted flip-flops. Very nice. If only you had the weather to go out and wear them in. Jonathan. Oh, you lucky swine, Jonathan. Here's his message.
There's nothing better than sitting in the back garden in your hot tub that I'm lucky enough to have, looking out the summer house at the pouring rain in front of you, with a glass of wine in your hand. There's nothing like it.
I'll be around this afternoon, Jonathan. That sounds lovely. That really sounds lovely. In the lashings of rain, sitting in your hot tub with a glass of wine. In the lashings of rain. Send me a very quick WhatsApp voice note right now to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. A few people sent in messages saying they made stew yesterday. Now, I know that weather would remind you of the middle of winter and a bit of stew, but it's not cold enough for stew, is it? What did you do, or what do you do when the weather is that miserable to keep yourself entertained? This is a WhatsApp voice note from Tom.
When it's a miserable rainy day like this, I don't forget my dog. I bring him up to Tesco Clare Hall car park and bring him around there. No rain.
What a clever idea, Tom. And it's a big enough car park, the car park in Tesco Clare Hall. Now, I'm not sure if Tesco will be over happy if half of Dublin arrive to walk their dogs around their car park, but still, that's a place to walk the dogs, isn't it? Around the car park at Tesco Clare Hall. Great suggestion, Tom. I might bring Sparky and Molly there for a walk today. Johnny here says this message. Can someone recommend a good board game to play with my kids today? It's piddling out and they are bored. So if you have any suggestions for a good board game for Johnny to play with the kids, he says they're bored out of their heads, and I mean it's on days like this that the kids are really looking forward to going back to school, isn't it? Has it stopped yet? It has kind of stopped yet, yeah. And the weather does say it's going to be a little bit better today with a few showers and stuff, but yeah. Okay, there you go. There's some of your suggestions of things to keep yourself occupied when the weather is as miserable as that. We might get weather again. We might. I'm going on my staycation at the end of the week. At the end of next week, should I say. And the thoughts of going on the staycation with the weather like that. But sure, it is what it is, as they say. You're listening to 98 FM's Dublin Talks. This is Adrian Kennedy. We're here until midday today. Now, actually, this leads very nicely on to the next conversation that we want to have with you. And that is about the Holliers. I just said I'm going on my staycation next weekend. Having said that, I would love nothing more than a lovely sun holiday. Now, while most of us have opted for a staycation this year, there are thousands of Irish people who still decided to get out of the country and go foreign for a bit of sunshine during this pandemic. We'll be hearing from one of those people in a moment. A woman by the name of Caoimhe, who spent a week in the sun, which she got for really cheap, and she contacted us to give out about the backlash that she received when she put up photos of her trip on social media. But what is your opinion of people who have gone away to the sun? Would you judge someone for taking a foreign holiday, or would you say, fair play to them getting away, they're not breaking any laws per se, and they're not breaking any laws per se? Caoimhe and her sister were in Crete last week. They thought nothing of it and were safe on the trip. But when she returned to Dublin, she put photos of her trip on social media and she received huge backlash over it. Even family members had a go at her over it. She believes that she was safer going abroad than holidaying here in Ireland, but thinks the backlash was totally unjustified. I want you to have a listen to this message that Caoimhe sent us through WhatsApp late last night. Have a listen to this.
Hi, how's it going, guys? I actually went to Crete last week with my sister and we got a really nice last minute cheap deal. It was brilliant. Thought nothing of it. Absolutely went away on the holidays. Now, of course, I was very safe when I was over there, so there was nothing, do you know what I mean? I wore masks everywhere I went and we just had a good time. We needed to get away. Anyway, when I got back, I posted some photos of it online on my Instagram and stuff, and the backlash I got was insane. I had to take all the photos down because people in work and family and friends were absolutely slamming me, saying I was very selfish for going away. But to be honest with you, I was safer going abroad than I would have been even just going to Wexford or whatever. I was extremely safe.
There you go. So she was, in her opinion, extremely safe. She went away to Greece, but the backlash that she got when she put photographs on her social media of her lovely holiday to Greece, she had to take them back down again because people were going ballistic. You would have seen over the weekend as well about the backlash over, slightly different I suppose, Michael Cawley, the chairman of Fáilte Ireland. The Irish Independent broke the story on Saturday that he was away on a holiday in Italy and he got lashed out of it and ultimately resigned as a result of it. I think he was kind of pushed to resign. Slightly different when he's the one and Fáilte Ireland are the ones encouraging us to staycation this year. A bit much of him to be going away to Italy perhaps, but not for an ordinary Joe, is it? Or Josephine or whatever. Call me right now on 6797 981. You can text, WhatsApp, or do what Sarah did and send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98.
Hi Adrian, I think each to their own. I think some people deserve a holiday, like the frontline workers, like the nurses and that. As long as it's on the green list, what harm's done?
Okay, what harm is done? That's her argument. Now, we have been advised, or asked at least, not to go away this year, even though the government did publish a green list of countries, which is reduced a little bit, but it does include countries like Greece and Italy, where the level of the virus in those countries is less than it is in Ireland. Is it selfish of somebody to go away on holidays? This lady who sent me the message put photographs up on her Instagram and had to take them back down again because people were lashing her out with it. Call me right now on 67979 981. And if you've been away on holidays, how did people react to you? Maybe there was no issue, or maybe you did get a bit of flack over it. Neil and Mick, I'll take your calls straight after the break.
Daily COVID-19 discussion and information.
This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
And we're here till midday today. Our telephone number is 6797 981, or text WhatsApp or send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. All of us, well, not all of us, but an awful lot of us at this time of the year would love to be away on a holiday. I would myself, I'll be honest. In fact, we did think when the government published the green list, well, on the one hand they published a green list, on the other hand they were saying please don't go away. We did think about it fleetingly, and then we put the idea out of our head, because there is an amount of shaming associated with people going on holidays. And that's where this conversation has come from, and this message sent into our WhatsApp.
Hi, how's it going, guys? I actually went to Crete last week with my sister, and we got a really nice last minute cheap deal. It was brilliant. Thought nothing of it. Absolutely went away on the holidays. Now, of course, like, I was very safe when I was over there, so there was nothing, do you know what I mean? Like, I wore masks everywhere I went, and we just had a good time. We needed to get away. Anyway, when I got back, I posted some photos of it online on my Instagram and stuff, and the backlash I got was insane. Like, I had to take all the photos down because people in work and, you know, family and friends were absolutely slamming me, saying I was very selfish for going away. But, like, to be honest with you, I was safer going abroad than I would have been, like, even just going to Wexford or whatever. Like, I was extremely safe.
All right, now there you go. So she got shamed for going to Crete on our holidays. And Crete is one of the countries, or Crete is in Greece, which is one of the countries that is on the so-called green list. So she didn't even have to quarantine when she returned home, but she's getting lashed out of it. Is that fair? Neil, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Neil?
Not too bad. It's a tricky one, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of people who, like yourself, didn't go on holiday. Now, I'm
not putting myself on a pedestal here, by the way.
No,
I'm telling you.
Down in a sec. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I would love to be away in the sun. And we did even think about it.
Yeah.
And then decided, no, we'll stay. But I'm not putting myself on any pedestal for that. If anything, I was probably a bit nervous about going away because of the shame associated with it.
Well, the thing, like, I don't think a lot of us are educated enough on how the whole virus thing works. I think the shaming of social media is a cesspit. Everyone should private their Instagram, their Facebook, all that sort of stuff in general. But questioning people's behaviour is fine. Abuse, obviously, if this woman got abused, that's completely wrong. But if enough people are questioning your behaviour, then you've got to think, well, you know, why are they doing it? And I think the reason behind it is a lot of people are not taking those cheap holidays because they feel that, rightly or wrongly, they feel that they're remaining safer by keeping their social circle small, keeping their close to their family, and that's the way through this. You know, not going on holidays, because everyone needs a holiday. Everyone would love a holiday. Go away for a week in the sun, wherever it is. That'd be perfect. But I think the reason the backlash came, especially from the lady's family, is because probably the family didn't take the cheap holiday. They stayed at home.
That's what I was about to say. Is it not a bit of, like, bitterness that they would love to be there as well? Do you know what I mean? And it does...
100%. We all want a sunny holiday. We all want to, you know, every single person listening wants to go on a holiday. Because this has been tough on everybody. Tougher on some than others, but everyone has felt this, and everyone needs a break. You know, whether you're working from home or you're not working at all because of this thing, everyone needs a break from whatever's going on with that. But the problem is people are not taking these holidays because they feel, I'm going to keep everything close to me. I'm not going to put myself at risk. That's all it is. And look, I'm sure she was safe wearing masks and all that sort of stuff. I don't know when I'm safe. I don't know if I was getting on a plane. I don't know who was on the last flight on this plane. I know everything's spaced out, but it's all air conditioning. I don't know how all that works. So I'm not going to put myself in that.
Okay, so you're just not bothered taking a chance, essentially.
Not right now. And questioning behaviour is all good. If enough people question your behaviour, maybe it makes you think about it. That's all.
Here's an interesting message that's just come in to me, and it says, "Hey guys, I returned from Lanzarote last night and I've not put any pictures up on social media because I don't want any backlash. I was safer in Lanzarote than here in Dublin. I'm dreading having to go out to the shops here or even being close to people because Irish people flaunt the rules. But what's interesting about this is this particular message has come from somebody who's a regular caller on this show but has asked me not to mention his name." So there is a shame factor here, that he's not prepared to even go on the radio and admit that he was in Lanzarote and just came home. And the fact of the matter is, to that person, whose name I won't mention because he asked me not to mention his name, you say you're dreading going to the shops. You're not supposed to be going to the shops. You're supposed to be quarantining for 2 weeks.
There you go.
And he says, I'm dreading going to the shops because people here flaunt the rules. But if you go to the shops, you're going to be flaunting the rules. You're meant to be self-isolating. But it's interesting that guy who, as I said, is a regular enough caller on this programme, doesn't want to go on the air because he doesn't want to be identified, because he doesn't want to be shamed. So there is a shame factor around this. I'd like to hear from you. If you're somebody who's been to Lanzarote and is prepared to speak about it, and the reaction that you got from people. Joe sent me this WhatsApp voice note. He's not impressed with Quiva, who sent us the original message.
Hey, Adrian, so the backlash is well justified. I mean, in the middle of all this crap and cases going up and having, the best part of 300 cases over the last 3 days, and the likes of her swanning off to a different country and potentially bringing it back, and I think it's just so selfish and disrespectful to everyone that's around her, her own family included. Her own family giving her grief because they're saying, well, Jesus, you're after going off and you're going to bring that crap back to the house. And it's just awful, and she should be ashamed of herself. Yeah, I'm jealous of the fact that she got to go away to the sun, but not in the middle of this. I couldn't care less. Sure, it was sunny down in Galway or Cork or somewhere. Why can't you just go down there? Like everybody else has had to do. People should just start thinking more about others and not themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you said yourself, Joe, that you'd love to be going yourself, but you say the backlash is well justified, selfish and disrespectful to go, and she should be ashamed of herself. Mick, what do you make of this sort of holiday shaming almost, which is what it's become?
Adrian, I think... You there, Adrian?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
Adrian, I think they should be allowed to go away, because as I said, the people out there that are allowed to go in and out of the country and they don't even have to quarantine when they come back. Like, the 200 people that came in there a couple of weeks ago, they didn't have to quarantine, the apple pickers.
Who? Oh, yes, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have to quarantine and they got away with it. So, I think the girl done right to go out and go on a holiday.
But she had to take photographs back down off her Instagram page because people were lashing her out of it.
But that's a disgrace. They shouldn't be lashing her out of it. It's her, at the end of the day, it's her profile.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at what the rules are. Now, they don't apply to Greece as it happens, right? But because a lot of people are saying that you don't have to quarantine when you come home. If you return from a red list country, now Greece isn't on the red list, so this is countries that aren't on the green list, basically. You should not go to work, not use public transport, not have visitors at your home, do not visit others even if you usually care for them, do not go to the shops or pharmacy unless it's absolutely necessary, where possible order groceries online or have some family friends drop them off, do not meet face to face with older people, anyone with a long-term medical condition or pregnant women. You can still go outside to exercise by yourself as long as you keep 2 metres distance. I mean, that's lockdown stuff that you're meant to do, but your man Pete there, who sent me the message a couple of minutes ago, he's not restricting his movements. So while on the one hand we are getting mixed messages and all of that, we are also being told that they are the things we have to do if we come back from a red list country. Let me have a listen to this WhatsApp voice note from Sarah.
How does she know that she was completely safe? Because you can't actually see the virus. And I understand if one of my families went away and put up photos, I'd be the exact same. I would tell them they're selfish, because I think it is a selfish thing to do. You don't know if you're safe. You don't know where you're contracting the virus. So you can't say you're safer in Crete or Wexford or whatever. You just don't know. And so, yeah, it's a silly thing to do. I think it's selfish.
Thinks it's selfish. Okay, let me go to Billy. You're on 98 FM. How are you, Billy?
How are you, Adrian? Yeah, no, I think to everybody ringing in about, she went to a green list because they're all assholes. Every one of them that are giving out about her. All assholes. I've had enough of this crap myself. It's 5 months now. There's no deaths. Naturally, we're going to be getting more cases. Lots more people are being checked. The whole thing's a farce now. There's people losing their jobs left, right and centre. It's time to open up the economy again. But regards to the travel now,
but if you remember, Billy, and I have to point this out, if you remember how the virus got into this country in the first place, it was from somebody travelling. That's how it got in here. So what's to say that we do a great job and we cut the cases down and somebody brings it back into the country again?
Yeah, but she went
and in fact, New Zealand, it looks like that's how it got into the country as well.
Yeah, well, she went to a green list country. She's not done nothing wrong. You know what I mean? She went to a green list country and she doesn't have to quarantine when she comes back. And I'm getting my holidays in September. And if I wanted to go in a country in the red list, I'd go in a country in the red list. And when I come back, I'm not quarantined. And that's the way it is. And I'm not going to even answer to anyone that rings up and tries to challenge me. I couldn't care. There's just most people in this country now are turning into sheep now.
So what are you saying to me, Billy? That you are going to go away?
Well, I wanted, but my wife doesn't want to go away because she'll have to isolate for work where she works. But I said we'll go to a country in the green list. But if I had my choice and I was going away on my own, I'd just pick wherever I want to go. And it wouldn't be, isolate when I come back. And I wouldn't be answering any questions at the airport when I come back either. Because there's people swanning into this country that are filling in forms incorrectly. And they're not isolating. I'm basically fed up with the whole lot. But that, getting on to the subject, the woman in Greece, she's done nothing right, 100% by the book. She went to Greece, which is on the green list, which the dumb people that are ringing in don't seem to understand. And she doesn't have to quarantine. And everybody commenting about her, in my opinion, are assholes.
You see, a lot of people believe that just for this year, we should all stay here, basically.
Well, then then the government should have said we're banned from travel, full stop.
Yeah, but they can't really do that.
No, because they would be making all the airlines bankrupt. They can't do because if they done that, then everybody would be entitled to refund, and they haven't the balls to do that.
All right, stay there for 1 second, Billy. 6797 981 is our telephone number. Siobhan reckons that many people aren't going foreign because they're afraid of the backlash. And I think you're right, Siobhan.
Hi, Jeremy. In my opinion, that girl there was well within her rights to go on holidays. If it was on the green list. And I don't think she deserves a backlash. I think people are more afraid to go on holidays because of the backlash that they're going to receive when they come home, not the actual holiday or the virus. It's the backlash that they're going to receive when they come home, which isn't right. But yeah, if it's on the green list, yeah, go on holidays.
Yeah, I do think you're right. I do think that's the issue that a lot of people have. They're afraid of being shamed. And I'll be honest with you, that's kind of in the back of my mind as to why we haven't gone away, afraid of the backlash. Couldn't be arsed. I just don't want any, so I'm not going anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. We're back with more of your calls in just a moment.
Up-to-date coronavirus discussion for Dublin.
This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
We're talking about holiday shaming, and this has actually become a thing. Who would have ever thought that you would be shamed for going on a foreign holiday? But it's become a thing. We got a message from a lady, Quiva, who's just back from Crete in Greece, and she is disgusted the backlash that she got when she put up photographs on her Instagram. She thought it was perfectly okay. She felt very safe when she was away. It's a country that's on the green list of countries from Ireland, and she doesn't see what the harm was, but she got absolutely lashed out of it. But I'm after getting two messages which are similar. Okay, one says, I know people who've gone to the Canaries, which is not on the green list, but have pretended to everyone that they're in Greece, so they don't have to isolate when they get home. They went as far as tagging themselves in locations in Greece, but were 100% in Lanzarote. Surprise, surprise, the grandmother now has COVID, and the rest of the family are still not isolating, mixing with a lot of other people. That worries me a little bit, especially if the granny was on the holiday with them. And then another message, please don't mention my name. I know 2 retired Gardaí that went on holidays to Spain. Spain went into lockdown and they were not allowed out of their hotel room. They came home and were supposed to self-isolate. Didn't happen. They just got on with life as normal. I couldn't believe my eyes. It shows no respect for the rest of us, says that message. Aaron, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Aaron?
How are you doing, Jeremy? How are you?
Well, I'm Adrian, but that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, sorry, Adrian.
Aaron, what do you make of this holiday shaming that's going on?
Well, I think shaming is a bit much. I really don't believe in shaming anybody. But I just think everybody has to take it upon themselves to just understand that every single person in this country is in the same situation. As I said, I have not missed a day's work since lockdown. I'm due a week's holidays next week, and there's not a hope I'd travel anywhere. Just out of respect for all the frontline workers, all the other people who need breaks, my family, my colleagues, my company that I work for. You know, it's just disrespectful more than anything else.
Is it, though? Is it disrespectful to go on a holiday?
It's disrespectful to go on a holiday if you come back with coronavirus.
Well, obviously, nobody sets out to go away and catch coronavirus.
Nobody sets out to do that, but nobody ever set out to catch coronavirus. But unfortunately, this is what happens. And I heard you saying earlier on, that's how it first got its way into this country.
Well, it is, isn't it?
Travel. Yeah, exactly. So I just think it's so wrong on so many levels. What
about this lady Quiva? She didn't go to a red list country. She went to a Greek island, and Greece has had a very good grip of this virus.
I think it's irrelevant, to be honest with you. The people you meet in the airport, from the travel from where you are to the location you're going to, I think you're exposing yourself so much in so many different areas with people from all over the world.
So one of our very first messages was it's selfish and disrespectful. Would you agree with that?
Most definitely.
Selfish and disrespectful.
It's disrespectful for every other frontline worker out there who's... Like, there's people out there... One thing she said, I just needed a break. I needed to get away. Everybody needs a break. Everybody needs to get away. I am married with 4 children, and what I wouldn't give... And we had planned on going on a foreign holiday this year, but there is no way, and I'm on holidays next week, and... Like that, our respect for...
Well, let me ask you a question then, Aaron. And no, this hasn't happened. But if it were, I'm off on holidays next week, okay? Now we're staycationing as it happens.
Yeah.
But if I were to come back from a holiday and say, I had an absolutely brilliant holiday in Italy. What an amazing holiday. It's on the green list and it was just wonderful. Would you think less of me then?
I wouldn't.
Honestly.
It's not that I would be jealous of you, but see, that's hindsight. And then 2 weeks later, you turn around and come out and say, I caught COVID on that magical holiday I just had. Would it be worth it then?
No, obviously. But sure,
you know, that's my point.
Yeah, but sure,
it's the risk you're taking.
I know, but sure, I'm going off to Kerry and Galway and Donegal next week. I'm sure I could catch it there as well.
You could. You could catch it there as well. That's, I think...
So why should I feel any more?
I live in Kildare for my sins.
Right.
Unfortunately, now at this stage, but there's no way. Even I wouldn't go anywhere else in the country. I think people need to get back to being focused on what needs to be done to rid this out of the country completely.
Okay, and part of that, in your opinion, is just avoiding all non-essential travel, which is what we've been asked to do. That's what we've been asked to do.
Exactly. And I can't see why people just can't. Like that. Like, and I guarantee a lot of people there don't have, a lot of people who don't really care. Your man who called everybody assholes for, like, does he have any family with outlining conditions that can cause it? Do you know, it's very easy to just tell everybody they're assholes for
I know, but people need a break. People need a break.
I need a break so badly, and we had planned on going to France again. We've been in France a couple of years ago, and we were planning on going back again this summer, and it's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen, and I have not missed one day's work through the whole lockdown. I've worked flat out. And
okay, but just because you've made that decision, doesn't mean everybody should make the same decision.
Yeah, because it's what we're being advised to do, I think. And I think it's a responsible decision to make. Like, basically, I'm putting my family first, my wife, my children, and you know, and that's for in my life. That's what's important. It's important to keep all them as safe as possible. To reduce the percentages of actually catching it, and that's every opportunity I can reduce the percentage of catching it, I will take it.
All right, well, stay there for 1 second. Let me have a listen to this WhatsApp voice note that has come into us.
Hi guys, I think that this whole holiday shaming is just terrible. If people have booked and paid for a holiday long before COVID, they should be entitled to take a break. And I think there's a lot of begrudgery, and all these people complaining, were they the ones having holidays cancelled and not getting a refund, and it's just out of spite? I'd like to know your thanks. Thanks, bye.
All right, thank you very much indeed. And then this message come in. Please don't mention my name. Again, okay. I know a nurse who went to Spain and was COVID screened after and hadn't quarantined either, which is awful. This message says, sure, the airports are open.
I mean, at the end of the day, the airport is open and the flights are coming in and out every day, so it's not against the rules. You know, we had lockdown and we had rules, but at the minute, you are allowed to go on holiday. Everyone knows the rules about wearing masks, keeping social distancing, but you are allowed to get on a flight. It's the government, even government are doing it, you know, you are.
Yeah, we saw somebody, though, the other day, the chairman of Fáilte Ireland, who had to resign for going on a holiday to Italy. Maeve, you're a frontline worker, and what I've heard from an awful lot of people is, oh, well, this is giving the two fingers to people like you. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Oh, sorry, Maeve, I can't hear you at all. Your phone's terribly muffled.
Sorry, yeah, 100%. We all want a holiday. We all need a break. We've all worked hard.
Maeve, I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to get the lads to ring you back because the quality of your line is atrocious. Can't hear a word you're saying. Where am I going now? Niamh, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Niamh?
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
Good, thanks, Niamh. We all need a break, but we don't need to have it abroad.
I just think we've become a bit of a nation of curtain twitchers. I mean, if we see somebody without a mask, we just judge them immediately. We don't stop and think, could they have an underlying condition? We see more than 2 young people walking outside. It's all their fault. I would just hope anyone that is going away would do the right thing when they came back. That's all. And I live in a holiday town, and trust me, I'm more worried about our own people. Because people that are going on holidays down here, they're shocking. I'll be totally honest with you, they're shocking. I mean, I've seen more than one of them. You know, it's chaos down here. It's absolute chaos. And it's why our numbers have doubled in the last 2 weeks. We were doing really, really well. And now we've got double numbers. So to be honest with you, I'd actually prefer if half of them had gotten on a plane. Because... Oh,
instead of going to where you live?
Well, do you know what I mean? I know that sounds stupid, but I think people who go away are actually more careful. Because you're always more careful in a foreign country, even without COVID. You're aware of your surroundings. You're aware of this. You're aware of that. All I'd ask is isolate when you come home. If you're not in a green country, it's what you're being asked to do. Do the right thing. But
I know, but the amount of people that I've heard about who have come through Dublin Airport from Spain, have filled out the form that you're asked to fill out, agree to self-isolate for 2 weeks. And I know a lot of people that just haven't done that. They just haven't. They filled out the form.
You're always going to get people who don't abide by the rules. We have people down here right now from Kildare. They're not supposed to be here either. So at the end of the day, if we're going to start slagging everyone off, slag everybody, because there's, in every walk of life right now, people aren't abiding by the rules. There's people going to house parties. We're not supposed to be doing that. There's people coming on holidays from the lockdown counties. They're not supposed to be doing that. There's people coming on holidays not abiding by the rules. There's
I know, but foreign travel seems to prod people a little bit more, I have to say, Niamh. Stay there for 1 second. Let me try and get back to Maeve again. Are you there, Maeve?
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, just about. Yeah, go on. You're a frontline worker, and what, you think nobody should be going away on holidays?
Yeah, absolutely. We all want a holiday. We all want to go away. We've all worked harder than we've ever worked in the past few months, but we've enough problems at home in our own country without bringing in more risk. You know, I know a lot of these people are going to places that they're told are safe. I don't believe in shaming people either, but I don't think people should be getting upset.
But I think with a lot of people, in fact, I'm about to play a message from somebody who's heading to Italy on holidays, but terrified to post on social media. So Italy, at this moment, is one of the supposed green list countries, but she's terrified to post on social media. Maeve, do me a favour, stay on the line there for 1 second if you can, please, because I have to take a very quick break. Back in a sec. 98. It's 11 o'clock across Dublin. Good morning. This is Adrian Kennedy. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. And this is Emma with Tuesday's top headlines.
Thanks, Adrian. Good morning. Older people will be asked to limit their time outdoors again as ministers meet to consider new public health recommendations. Over the weekend, the acting chief medical officer expressed concern about house parties, which is expected to lead to a reduction in the number of people who can gather in a home. Gardaí investigating a series of robberies at retail premises across the country have arrested 2 men in their 20s and 30s. Both are being held at Blackrock Garda Station after being arrested at a property in Kildare yesterday. 7,000 jobs are to go at Marks and Spencer over the next 3 months. The retailer says the bulk of the cuts will be across its stores in the UK. It's thought the company's Irish operations won't be affected. And the country's latest millionaire has made contact with the National Lottery after scooping €7.3 million in Saturday's draw. The lucky quick pick ticket was sold in a shop in Clifton in Galway. And now you're up to date on 98.
98 FM's Dublin Talks. Call 6797 981.
And we're going to take another couple of calls on what we've been talking about, and that is holiday shaming. Anya is heading to Italy, but is afraid of it.
I just want to say thank you so much for bringing this up, because I'm going to Sorrento at the end of the month, and I am still questioning if I'm going to post on social media, because it's the Amalfi Coast. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. But I'm scared that I'm going to get backlash, and I'm way too sensitive for any of that.
That's the problem, Anya. Aideen?
I don't understand what the big deal is. It's one summer. Some families don't get to go away ever anyway. I don't understand what the big deal is. 1 year. It's one summer that you just have to put on hold. Oh my God, what's wrong with people? I think it's so selfish and so mean to be going away like that. And just one, for me, the worry. I'd be worried sick about my family if they went away. Just leave it. Wait till next year.
Aideen, I kind of felt the same as you, and did decide earlier on in the year that the passport was going in the bottom drawer and we were booking a staycation, which we did do. But I have to be honest with you, the thought has crossed my mind of taking a cheap flight and flying off to somewhere where the weather is a little bit nicer than here. I haven't done it, I'm not doing it, but it has crossed my mind, I'll be honest with you. Now, where am I going? Maeve, just to go back to you for a second.
Yeah.
In your message that you sent in to us originally, you said that you haven't stood in your mother and father's house since mid-March because you're working on the front line. You say in your message that you meet petrified elderly, petrified cancer patients, so scared of picking up the virus. We have a big enough battle on our hands without bringing other countries into it. Stay home, staycation, help our own country. We are still battling this every shift. And that's how you feel about it, that let's just leave it.
Yeah, it's, as that other girl said, it's one summer. It's one summer where you're not getting a sun holiday. I mean, if that's the hardest thing you have to battle with, and these people are ringing up genuinely upset because they're getting a backlash. I just find that very hard to listen to. There's people who have lost loved ones. There's people that have not left their homes, literally petrified, with neighbours still bringing them their shopping. you know, it's still there. We're still going in. We're still in PPE. We're still questioning any patient that comes into us with a temperature or a cough. Do they have it? It hasn't gone away.
Okay, but on the other side of this, you're probably not seeing as many cases in the hospital as you were.
We're not seeing as many cases, but as you know, this can change in a matter of days. You know, as the numbers start coming in, people are coming in, you're testing them, so you're not getting the results. You're not known for a few days. Things can change in a matter of days. One big cluster turns into 2 clusters. We're back to square one again. It's one summer. I can't understand why people can't just stay home.
Yeah, the issue with this obviously is that the mixed messaging that the government on the one hand published this green list of countries that it's safer to travel to, not that it's safe, that it's safer, and then on the other hand they're saying please avoid all non-essential travel. So a lot of people, when they saw this list of the green list of countries, thought to themselves, just like that lady who sent me the original message, grand, I'll head off to Crete on my holidays, and she got a great deal and off she went.
Of course you got a great deal. We'd all love a great deal. But you have to be selfless at this time. Maybe she doesn't have an underlying condition. Maybe she doesn't have elderly parents. But I can guarantee you someone she lives near or somebody she knows does, and they're not going to appreciate it. And I don't think they're going to have much pity for her getting a backlash for going on her son holiday.
All right, I tell you what I want to do, just for a moment, just before we wrap this up. And this is going to be completely anonymous, okay? We will not call you back. Your vote will be counted, but that will be the end of it, because we understand the shame that some people are feeling or being made to feel over this. Here's the question that I want to ask, and I want you to text, now only by text message, please, not by WhatsApp. I want you to text yes or no and send it to 0877 98 98 98. Here is my question. Have you, or are you going to, before the end of the year, take a foreign holiday? Now, whether it's a green list country, a red list country, it doesn't matter. In other words, are you going to leave, have you left, or are you going to leave the island of Ireland this year? That's the question. Text, please, yes or no, to 0877 98 98 98. And if you are going to go, you can text the word yes and tell us where you're going. So once again, my question, and I want you to text the answer to this. This is a normal text message rate. My question to you is, have you, or are you planning to leave the island of Ireland before the end of this summer? Or before the end of this year, should I say. Text the word yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Either you have gone away already or you are planning to go away before the end of this year. Text yes or no. I'm just interested to see. My answer to it is no. And as I said, I'm not looking for plaudits for staying here. I'd love to go. I really would, especially when you look at that muck outside falling out of the sky, but I'm not. And won't until next year. And like a lot of people say, it's one summer, I can get over it. So my answer is no, but I'd love to. Text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Paul. Hello, Paul. How are you, Paul?
I'm all right, thank you.
Paul, you are in Crete on your holidays right now.
Oh yeah, I'm actually enjoying the sunshine.
Right. What's it like?
Beautiful, beautiful. 31 degrees.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, what made you decide to go away, Paul?
Well, I have to say now, it was a harsh year, I have to say, for everybody.
It was. I have a frontline worker on here who's had a very harsh year.
And I have to say, I used to own a businesses, and I'm out of the business at the moment, completely. So I decided to take the family to the green list, I have to say, and couldn't hesitate into that. And I have to say, I'm really pointing out the American being around us much more, us being out there. And if you look at the Limerick, and I have a few cousins over there, they say actually Limerick has been lashed out with Americans, and there's more dangerous,
Okay, but let me ask you two things. One is, virus-wise, do you feel safe there?
Oh, I have to say, I think I feel much more safer than being in Blanchardstown Shopping Centre.
Oh, right, okay.
Honestly.
That answers that.
And the thing is now, wherever you go, anywhere around here, everybody have a mask, even though there's no risk. But everybody have the mask on. And wherever you go, you have to clean your hands, wash your hands a couple of times, in and out, you know what I mean? And
okay, as you will know, Paul, now, Crete is in Greece, which is on the green list of countries. Had you already booked the holiday, or did you book the holiday when the green list of countries was issued?
Yeah, I had to actually book the holiday after the green list.
Okay, so you saw this green list and you said, right, I'm off to Greece. And was it... when you heard the government saying we'd like you to avoid all non-essential travel, even though we've published the green list, that didn't bother you at all?
Well, it did bother me, but I have to say, as everybody else says, by going to Donegal or down to the Galway area, you're probably more at risk than being here.
Okay, so when people say, as they have, and in fact a frontline worker said it herself, I am not going away on a holiday this year because I think it's disrespectful to all the frontline staff. What do you say to that as you sit in 31 degrees in Crete?
I have to say, I do respect the frontline as everybody else does, and I think in my view, I think I'm more safer than being out there in Blanchardstown Shopping Centre, walking around in a crowded supermarket or whatever outlet in there. And I actually live in Blanchardstown myself, and I know what is it like. And I daily seeing it because my business was there. And I'm out of it.
Let me read a message that's just come in to me, Paul, and it says, I'm from Lithuania, which is on the green list. And I still won't go to my brother's wedding this weekend, as I wouldn't forgive myself if I brought something back. Now, okay, you're in a country that's on our green list, although I have to tell you that case numbers in Greece are starting to rise, but it's neither here nor there, I suppose. But as they're starting to rise here as well, how would you feel if you, God forbid, were to bring it back with you?
Well, obviously, that's the guilt. Everybody lives with it. You can't predict. What would you say? If I go to the shopping centre there, that's what my concern is. If I go out there and probably I bring it back to my home, you have to go out there and do your shopping, obviously. Kids need to go out there.
Okay, let me read another message that's just come in, and I won't read exactly what it says, but this is about you. What an absolute you-know-what, ringing from Crete. That is shocking. That guy is giving a big finger to frontline staff.
No, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. What about this workers? All of them are walking around in the all the tourists coming into Ireland.
Okay.
What would we say about that now?
Okay, so you don't feel any guilt at all about being in Crete right now?
Not at all, because I've been authorised by a government, and the country that I'm in is in the green list.
Okay, so you booked that holiday. You booked that holiday specifically to Crete because it was on the green list of countries.
Absolutely, yeah. I just followed the rule, and that's what the rule wanted. And after that, when you book in the ticket, you get few text messages from the Greece government that you have to fill out few forms, and a lot of information you have to put in there, where you come from, where you're going, where you're staying, and this and all that,
And that's for contact tracing and all of that, which is fair enough. Okay, so you feel no guilt at all. You are playing by the rules, going to a country that you don't have to self-isolate when you return to Ireland. You don't see why you should feel any guilt over this at all.
I don't see anybody should feel any guilt because, that's the virus and we have to live with it. And at the moment, until the vaccines is all ready, you cannot kill yourself. You cannot isolate yourself forever. God knows when the vaccine is ready.
Just before I let you go, let me leave the final word to Maeve, frontline worker, dealing with this every day of the week, dealing with terrified elderly people, cancer patients. Maeve, would you like to be on Crete on your holidays?
Of course I would. We'd all love to be on a sun holiday now. There's no words for that, guy. Look, enjoy your holiday, but if we all did that, if we all just packed up and went away, let's see how we are in a couple of months' time, because a lot of us will be losing people. Simple as that.
All right, Maeve, thanks very much indeed, and keep up the good work. And Paul, enjoy the rest of the holiday. Stay safe.
Thank you very much, Adrian.
Stay safe, thank you. Declan can't understand the shaming going on here.
Adrian, I have to say, I love all these people that say you don't know if you're being safe when you're on holidays. People's children are going out on the streets and playing with each other. They're mixing, they're touching off each other, and then they're coming in and hugging their parents. So all the families in every single estate in Ireland are mixing. Whether you're on holiday or whether you're staycationing, you're mixing every single day, because under 13-year-olds are not required to wear masks, and they're all out playing with each other and coming straight back into their families. So what's the difference between staying here and going on a holiday?
Okay, Rona also says it shows a lack of respect.
Hi, Adrian. I know that girl went on holidays to do somewhere in the green list, but it was still non-essential travel, so she was breaking rules. Now, what she does is her business, fair enough. But I still think people, it's not just the safety aspect of going away. I think people should be staying in Ireland to support the Irish. Our own economy, our jobs, everything here in Ireland, because everything is at risk. Everything, every job. There's not one job safe here on this island. So people should be staying on holiday in here, just even if it is to support the economy. But again, it's not just a safety aspect, you know.
Yeah, okay, I get the economic benefit of us staying here as well. Thomas.
I wasn't allowed to go to Waterford last weekend for a night. The hotel cancelled it because I'm from Laois. But now we have like people allowed to go to Greece, flying out from Dublin, going to Greece and everywhere, like, and it's not a problem, like it's just it's mind blowing, like, what's going on, really. Do you know what I mean?
And I have to say, I feel it for you, Thomas, if you're living in one of our currently lockdown counties. Dermot thinks that the problem is workers coming in for seasonal work.
Adrian, I don't think the problem is holidays. I think the problem is dealing with the actual the spread of this infection, and the cause of it, the root cause of it is, in my opinion, migrant workers bouncing in and out of the country on €20 Ryanair flights. Working in meat plants and living 10 and 20 to a room and then hopping back home at the weekend. I think that's what the problem is.
Any proof of that, Dermot? John sent me this.
Adrian, why do people have to put up on social media that away? Just go away and enjoy your holiday. Isn't that sure? Aren't you trying to get away from the norm? And why do people have to put up a picture of a cocktail or take a picture of a dinner and stick it up on social media? Go on your holiday, turn the phone off and enjoy it. Eddie and Finglas.
Okay, well, a couple more messages. Stephen's friend is in Italy at this moment.
Tom here, Adrian, long time listener. My girlfriend, her friend is actually gone in Italy now, and she says it's grand over there. They're literally just wearing face masks, hand sanitising, and that's it. But everything is open and it's grand.
All right, Lisa says, if you are going away, just don't tell anyone.
Hi guys, loving the show. Just don't use social media. Don't let people know where you're going. And enjoy your holiday. Forget about everything else. And good luck. Bye.
Bye. We asked you a question, and it was, have you already been or are you planning to leave the island of Ireland this year? And here's the answer. 73% of you, okay, 73% of you have not gone away and are not going away this year. 73% of you said no. 27% of you have said yes. So the vast majority of people are staying here in Ireland this year, maybe having a staycation or just not leaving the island. I'm in that category begrudgingly, but I am. And 73% saying no, I'm not going away, and 27% of you say you either have gone away or you are planning to go away later on in the year. All right, interesting conversation. Thanks very much indeed. You're listening to 98 FM's Dublin Talks. This is Adrian Kennedy. We're here until midday today. Don't go away, we have a local story for you next.
The sound of the city from Saggart to Sutton.
This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
And we're here until midday today. Our telephone number is 6797 981. You can text, you can WhatsApp, or send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. Now, over the last 24 hours, several cyclists have taken to social media to complain about antisocial behaviour and intimidation of cyclists along a certain cycle route here in Dublin. One cyclist by the name of Peter took to social media to tell how thugs were attacking cyclists along the Royal Canal cycling lane. And we're going to try and get to the bottom of this in a moment, but we also want to hear from you if you're a cyclist. Have you ever felt unsafe using the cycling lanes around the city? Is there any particular black spot that you're particularly wary of? We're not talking about unsafe from traffic, but unsafe from antisocial behaviour. Is this a big issue? Well, the Irish Times today reported the following. Safety concerns have emerged over the new €9 million Royal Canal cycle path in Dublin's north inner city after cyclists and local residents reported intimidating and threatening behaviour along the route. The recently opened 750-metre path runs from an existing path linking the Liffey Quays to Sheriff Street, the Newcomen Bridge and the North Strand. Work will begin next year to extend the path along the canal to Ashtown, which would be a fantastic cycle route, it has to be said, when the whole thing is finished. But would you be bothered now if you're going to be intimidated and bricked out of it or whatever is going on? I'm joined on the line by Dublin's Lord Mayor, Hazel Shue, who... Hazel, good morning to you. Welcome to the programme.
Good morning.
You actually retweeted a tweet on this subject yesterday, obviously because you see this as a major issue.
I do, and this is the thing. I think we have the assault, obviously, recent assault on Miss Chong, which has been unfortunate, but you also have these incidences that's been occurring across the board on the canal areas. Like, I've had a lot of folks contact my other half, who's a TD for Dublin South Central, on the Rialto, Drimna area of the canal. I've had people talk about the Royal Canal. I've had people talk about different areas around the Grand Canal as well. So this is happening, and this is something that we need to look at and tackle.
When I see, when I read that €9 million was spent on the first section of this path, and some people don't feel safe using it, that seems like an awful waste of money, really, if people aren't going to be using it.
Well, it's money to spend to look at how we can improve travel for everyone, especially in the current times where people need other means of travel. And if you look at it in terms of how it will be there for decades to come, it would be it is viewed as a good investment. But you're right, it does need to be safe so that people can use it. And this is where Garda enforcement and Garda community programs come into play. And this is why I said I'd be writing to the Commissioner to ask them on the status update of the various Garda community programs, because I think that's exactly what we need right now in all areas of Dublin City.
Okay, so, I mean, in your tweet yesterday, you said, apart from the horrible assault of Miss Zhang, the below are incidents I'm looking at to write to the Garda Commissioner about. The canal as a whole is a great amenity, but we need the rollout of more Garda community programmes to ensure everyone feels safe. This was the retweet of a tweet from a guy called Peter Gallagher. Was looking forward to trying out the new Royal Canal cycling lane, but it was too dangerous. 15 teenage thugs blocking the cycle path, throwing stones at cyclists and trying to break windows of houses backing onto the track. Jeez, I don't think I'd fancy cycling up there myself.
No, well, this is the thing. I saw Peter Street, and it's something, as I said, that is not uncommon, and it's something that it has been raised in the joint policing committees, and it's something that we want to raise to the next level up, mainly because we need to look at how communities work across the city as well. I was recently down in St. Andrew's Resource Centre, where they had amazing youth programs, but what made it even better and worked was because they had a good Garda community program there as well, where the guards tied in with the resource centre and tied in with the kids and the various youth around the area, and they know exactly what was happening and what was going on, and you need that more in various areas in Dublin.
Okay, so are you saying that people should use this €9 million cycle way, or avoid it until there's more of a Garda presence?
I think they should use it. So I think I fully accept the fact that people have seen antisocial behaviour there, but it's not every day, or at least I hope it's not every day. But also one thing we have research to support is that when things are used regularly, when there's a presence of other people, it's harder for individuals or anyone to be antisocial. So it is that kind of, as much as people can use it and go down, bring people down and cycle along it, it's actually a great path. So the more that it's in use, the better it is for everyone.
Okay, so if more people cycle along it, that might ease the antisocial behaviour, basically. Is that really what you're saying?
Well, yeah, it's a deterrent as well. When you see populated areas and people within areas that have more presence, there is less of a likely chance of a group of people being able to take it over and just dominate it. It's kind of a numbers game more than anything else. The track is new; it's just been opened. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in other areas that has been established. I have stated that it does happen, and that's something we need to look at from a Garda enforcement side. But in terms of the new track, it also is a case that it's under use at the moment, and it will hopefully pick up.
Yeah, I wonder how people feel about cyclists. Once again, this particular stretch that we're talking about where there have been issues is the stretch linking the Liffey Quays to Sheriff Street to Newcomen Bridge at the North Strand. So it's all the way along that route. And a lot of people obviously don't feel overly happy about using it. Kieran Ryan is a spokesperson for the Dublin Cycle Campaign. Kieran, good morning to you and welcome to 98 FM.
Morning, thanks for having us on.
Good, Kieran. Now, Kieran, this is a bit of an issue, is it?
Yeah, obviously it's been highlighted in the media in the last couple of days, but there have been reports dating back to just a couple of days after the new section opened of incidents similar to this. So, you know, it's been happening for a period of time now, and it's kind of getting the media spotlight at this stage, but it does need some kind of a reaction in the short term from the Gardaí to stamp out the very negative behaviour. But as Hazel said, there needs to be a more long-term approach, community engagement and community ownership of the space as well, because it's not meant to be just a cycle lane, it's also a linear park in the heart of Dublin City, and Dublin needs as much park space as possible. So if the community don't feel safe using that park and they don't feel a kind of community ownership for it, it's going to continue to decline and become space that's just not used properly.
Have you used it yourself, Kieran?
I haven't myself, no, but I've seen plenty of videos and I've talked to people who've used it. We've had a lot of feedback from people who've used it. I mean, the initial feedback when it opened was excellent, that people were delighted. This was a missing link in terms of cycling infrastructure in the city, especially, as you alluded to, for people coming in from the west of Dublin, you know, from Fisborough all the way to Ashtown, Castleknock, Blanchardstown. This is a real artery for them to cycle in and out of the city. And before now, you had to go via, I would say, the Five Lamps Junction, which can be a dodgy enough junction for people on bikes. So this was going to be a safer alternative, but unfortunately some people are saying now that they'd rather roll the dice with motor traffic than perhaps take a route where they're going to be accosted or abused.
We've seen in recent years how, for example, a lovely feature in the city centre, like the boardwalk along the Liffey, was essentially hijacked by antisocial behaviour and drug use and all of that. It's cleaned up a little bit of late, but it's dreadful to see another, how much did I say, 9 million spent on this particular pathway in order for people not to use it. No, I don't blame them, by the way. I don't blame them if you don't feel safe.
No, and we wouldn't encourage anyone to cycle a route that they don't feel safe on. But we do just need a very quick intervention here from Gardaí, just to have a presence and maybe deter some of the behaviour that's happening at the moment. But as Hazel and you've talked about as well, this notion of passive surveillance, whereby if more people are using the route and there's more traffic on it, this kind of behaviour is less likely to happen. So rather than allowing this antisocial behaviour to bed in and to become the norm on this route, we need to stamp that out and establish very frequent foot traffic and bicycle traffic, and not just through traffic as well, that people actually use it as a linear park. I mean, you're up against the Royal Canal here. The potential for playgrounds or wildflower meadows or anything you want for an inner city park. And it's important that we establish it as that use, that it doesn't just become this sort of no-go area that people are almost afraid to go into.
Now, it does sound like when it is eventually completed all the way to Ashtown, it's a fabulous route. It really is. You'd like to think that people will feel safe to use it.
Yeah, and it's important to remember as well that this is part of a national cycle route. So this is the Royal Canal Greenway, and the Royal Canal Greenway runs all the way from the convention centre to the River Shannon in Longford. Now, there's a spur off that will go from Mullingar to Athlone, and then eventually from Athlone all the way to Galway. So this is the Dublin to Galway cycle route. It's a national route. It's of prime importance. So we can't have just little sections of it like this that are inaccessible because of antisocial behaviour. So at a national context, it's really important that this becomes established as a safe, attractive and convenient route for people who are cycling or walking.
All right, Ciarán Ryan, spokesperson for the Dublin Cycle Campaign. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us on 98 FM, and my thanks indeed before that to the Lord Mayor of Dublin, Councillor Hazel Chu. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. We're here until midday today. Oh yeah, here's a conversation that I want to have with you. Oh, how we laughed in our office today over this one. Joanne is a lady who got in contact with us. And the gas thing about this is Joanne may as well be Jeremy's wife, although it isn't, because I know this is an ongoing issue in his house as well. Have a listen to this, and I'd love to hear from you on this. Love the show, lads. I would love you to talk about my husband Gary some morning on the show. Get this. He's 42 and plays computer games almost every day, more than our son who's 10. Every evening he goes into our bedroom and plays the Xbox for over an hour. I tell him that's not normal. These games are for kids. He says it is, and that loads of people his age do it. Can you find out how common it is to have adult gamers? I think my husband's a little bit sad. And that's from a lady called Joanne. We read this message out in our office earlier on, and Jeremy said, who's that from? And I said, Joanne. And anyway, the bottom line is that could have been written about him. Because he is that same soldier. He goes off to his room to play some PlayStation games. In fact, he's going out to buy a game after work today. Is that right, yeah? What game are you buying?
Lego Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars. And you're what age? Anyway, I want to talk to adult gamers, because according to Joanne thinks you're a little bit sad. She thinks her own husband is a little bit sad. And I asked Jeremy earlier on about his missus and what she says to him, and the same thing. She thinks he's pathetic going off to play games like that. She calls him a man-child. Are you an adult gamer? And then to add insult to injury, we discovered that our Katie is also an adult gamer. How much time do you spend gaming, Katie? Oh, not as much as she used to. Not as much as she used to since the child came along, but still likes to play every now and again. Call me right now on 6797 if you're an adult gamer. Joanne thinks you and her husband are a little bit sad. That's what her words, not mine. Not mine. We'll take a quick break and we'll take some calls in a moment.
The sound of the city from Sallynoggin to Swords.
This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
So, Joanne is the lady who got in contact with us. And she wrote the following. You should talk about my husband, Gary. She's quite happy to name him as well, by the way, Joanne. Some morning on your show. Get this. He's 42 and plays computer games almost every day. More than our son, who's 10. Every evening, he goes into the bedroom and plays the Xbox for over an hour. I tell him that that's not normal. These games are for kids. He says it is normal and that loads of people his age do it. Can you find out how common this is? Is my husband a bit sad? Because I think he is. And that's from a lady called Joanne. And we, as I said, we were talking about this in the office earlier on. And Jeremy was telling us that he is that same soldier, and his missus calls him a man-child. Chris sent me this.
Definitely not just for kids. It's an adult art form as well. The same way older generations will went to art galleries back in the day. It's an entertainment.
Oh, it's slightly different. Sitting playing Call of Duty versus visiting an art gallery. It's a little bit different. Now, Will, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Will?
I'm good, Adrian. How are you?
A 37-year-old gamer.
Yep.
And I believe you've been chatting on the phone to our Jeremy there about...
I was indeed,
the next games that you're going to buy. So what's on your list of games that you're going to buy?
Oh, I'm kind of download them as I go, but I've just downloaded one of the Just Cause games. I'm playing that at the moment.
What's it called?
Just Cause.
Just Cause.
Yeah.
What happens in Just Cause?
You swing around from building to building, killing bad guys, trying to save people. Basically, it's just it's a great escape from what's going on, especially at the moment. So
now, a lot of people, when they hear this conversation, they fall into two categories. They're either like yourself, or they're like Joanne's husband, Joanne, and think, lads, seriously, will you grow up? Jeremy's own missus calls him a man-child.
No. So there's games that are available for over 18s only, and again, they're multiplayer online. You can catch up with people that you can't, catch up with at the moment. And as I said in my original text, it's no sadder than sitting around watching a load of 20-year-olds trying to hook up on an island, on TV when you're in your 40s, 50s. So,
although, and somebody else texted in a second ago, Joanne's husband is no sadder than her. She probably watches Coronation Street.
Exactly. Crying over fake people who get married and die and twins for 3 days.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so you are a committed gamer, and do you this is something I've often wondered. Do you ever see yourself when you're in your 60s and 70s, when you're a granddad? Do you see yourself still playing them?
I'd love to be able to sit there. I've only a little girl at the moment, but she tries to play the games with me. I have to give her a joypad that's not connected to the actual console. But I'd love if she grew up, or if I had another kid who was a little boy and he's in his teens, or even my grandkids.
Oh, so you can see yourself as a granddad playing with your grandchildren?
Oh, 100%. I'd love that. Love it.
Really? Okay, because
I wouldn't let them win, but I'd love it.
Yeah, because I wonder, are there any grandparents who play, who are gamers? Stay there for a second if you can, please, Will. 6797981 is our telephone number. Or you can send us a WhatsApp voice note like this man who's a 31-year-old teacher and gamer.
Ideally, without giving my name, I'm a teacher, I'm 31, and I play FIFA, Call of Duty, Lego Star Wars, as was mentioned there recently, and the more shite Farming Simulator. So, loads of games, whatever's good I play.
Lego for an adult anyway is maybe it's just me. Derek, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Derek?
How are you doing?
Derek, your colleague, who's a mature man...
Mature? He's 56 years of age.
Okay, that's fairly mature, all right.
Yeah.
And what's he doing?
He's turning his spare bedroom into a gaming room. He's buying a gaming chair now with a steering wheel on it for the driving games. And he plays all them Call of Duty and Sniper and all them. He's in there all hours of the night playing them.
Really?
Yes, all hours of the night.
But so much so that in his mature years, he's building a games room in the house. Now, come here, as a matter of interest, is he a granddad?
Yes, he is, yes.
Oh, he is a
granddad.
Oh, he's going to be a granddad, right?
Yeah.
So, you could argue, Derek, he's going to be the coolest granddad in the world because, I mean, who doesn't want a granddad that's a gamer?
By the time the grandkid goes up, it'll be different than that. He has even a virtual reality thing and all he's at the point. You know, the one you put the helmet on you and fall all over the place.
Really?
Yeah, he has a 55-inch telly in the room. Now he's changing it all around so he can sit in there all hours of the night. He's not allowed to play it in his own bedroom, so he has to build another room for himself.
So what are you saying? By the time his grandchild is old enough, he won't be able to see the telly anymore?
They probably not. He's probably in an old folks home.
Actually, there's a thought for the future, because the fact of the matter is that, it was the generation in the 70s and 80s that started playing games, so they've kind of grown up with it. Can you imagine in a couple of years, Derek, visiting an old folks' home and they're all sitting around playing the PlayStation?
And that's what I expect him to be doing. PlayStation 4. He only got it a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and he hasn't left it alone since.
Really? So it's not like he was even doing it when he was a young man?
No. And then he even gave up going out to the pub to stay in and play games at night time.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I need to start getting into then, is it?
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's what he said. You know what I mean?
Right, keep me away from the pub. All right, Derek, good man. Thanks very much indeed. This is from Darren, who is also an adult gamer.
I'm the same as your man there. I'm a gamer, 38 years of age. Me, my missus and my 2 kids all play computers. We all play together. It's a great way of having a bit of banter together when it's lashing rain now and nothing else to do. And it also builds a bit of teamwork between us all. You all have to work together on certain games to get achievements or to finish them off. But we've no issues with kids playing computer games. Obviously, once it's not taking over their life and they still go out and have a play with their friends and go out and do with bits, there's no issue whatsoever. And the cost or the money that some of the young gamers, some of the young YouTubers who are good at it are making is phenomenal money. I'd have no issue with my kids being a gamer, a YouTube gamer or whatever else and making a 6-figure number by 18. Like a lot of the other lads that are on it now.
All right, Darren, thanks very much indeed. Now, I just got this message in a moment ago. I thought this was a phase that had disappeared, but apparently not. I'm a 33-year-old woman, says this message, who plays Pokemon Go every day. There's nothing childish about a fun hobby. Just to add, I'm part of a group of adults who meet up and play Pokemon Go. This is for real. We have a WhatsApp group and we arrange to meet up for events. You should see hundreds of people in Stephen's Green during Pokemon Community Days. Really? That's actually a thing, is it? God, I didn't know. This is a whole new world that maybe I should get involved in. All adults, but families bring their kids to have a day out. If I go play Pokemon Go, I see no difference in my mind with my partner doing DIY around the house for a few hours. Honestly, I thought the Pokemon Go thing was gone. I thought it was literally a phase that we went through. Now, I want to see, can you beat this? Nicola is talking about her mammy. Have a listen to this.
My mum is 59 and she still plays PlayStation. She plays Sniper and Call of Duty. She owns a PlayStation. Nobody in my house plays the PlayStation bar my mum. She's such a granny gamer.
Right. There's a new expression I never heard of. A granny gamer. Are you a granny gamer or granddad gamer? I want to find the oldest gamer. Somebody who regularly is playing games. Nicola's mum is hooked on the PlayStation. She's 59. Can we beat that? Because, like I said, I'm thinking of nursing homes in the years to come, and they would have to have a room for gamers, wouldn't they? I mean, it's a thing. No, sorry, where am I going next? I'm going to Niall. You're on 98 FM. How are you, Niall?
Hi, Adrian.
Niall, you game for 4 hours a day.
4 to 6.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm 37.
Okay.
The average gamer is in their 30s.
What? The average gamer is in their 30s?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right smack bang in the middle of that.
I'm right smack bang in the middle of it. I've been playing since, I don't know, since I was a child. Been hooked on it ever since.
So hang on, Niall. This is the bit that kind of gets me. You spend between 4 and 6 hours a day.
Yeah. Easy.
And do you not get bored stupid?
Oh, when you think about it, most of these games are about 20 to 40 hours long. So you need to put in some hours into it. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. So
now I know we've been. I know we've been in a kind of a lockdown situation. Well, we were. So you weren't out meeting friends and all of that because we just couldn't. But we're kind of past that now, and we are allowed out and about again. How do you have time for anybody else if you're spending 4 to 6 hours a day on the thing?
It's only 4 to 6. 24 hours in a day.
Do you not work, like?
What?
Do you not work?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
Oh, right, okay. Is that a recent thing or for a while now?
Recent.
Recent, okay. Because of the COVID and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. So at this moment you have the time?
Yeah.
And, are you still out meeting friends?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, right. So 4 to 6 hours a day.
But I play with them online as well, so it's not like you're going to miss anything.
Yeah, all right, okay. Let's have a listen to this from Nolene.
Hi, I'm Nolene here. My partner, Darren, is playing it since I met him, so I can't really change him. But when I had my daughter, I was delighted it was a little girl. I said, lovely, she won't be the gamer like her dad. She's 8 now, and the two of them are pathetic. They sit, they go out to the game shop, and they come home and they sit in front of a game and they play it for hours. If I let them, they'd play it for hours. Terrible, Nolene. Dave, also an adult gamer, but you're saying that, as we just heard from that message there, father and daughter playing games together, it's a great way of bonding with the kids.
We all play games in my house. Myself, the little fella, and the missus. So myself and the missus, we'd stay in bed some mornings or maybe some nights, and the two of us would play PlayStation in bed.
Oh.
And it's a great way to get with your family. The only problem is my missus is a really sore winner, and I have to tell her to calm down.
A really sore loser, you mean?
No, a sore winner. She's really good at fighting games, and every time she plays the little fella, she absolutely destroys him. And I have to go, you're his mother. Stop. Because she really likes to twist the knife with him, But no, man, there is a video game out there for everybody. Gaming isn't just for geeks and nerds nowadays. Everybody can do it. The average age of a gamer is 35 years old.
So I believe. I hadn't realised it was that high.
The video games have surpassed movies in regards of production value and revenue. There's a game coming out from Microsoft this year. The budget was $500 million. It was $500 million to develop this game. The technology is what I would actually say to everybody here, because there's a place in Smithfield for anybody who's listening. They do virtual reality gaming, and they're really, really affordable. Go and do it, because I did it with my mum in a place in Limerick, and she was absolutely amazed by it. The technology is just, it's going so far nowadays, especially in regards to VR games, and there's something out there for everybody.
So what you're saying is, if you're not really into it, well, then give it a shot.
Give it a go. Trust me. There's a game I finished there recently, and it had more emotional heft to it than most films I watched. And you can't really shout down games and call gamers weird and sad when you're the kind of person that watches the likes of Love Island or Big Brother. You know, I would much rather...
I kind of get that. I do understand that argument. Stay there. Dave, as a matter of interest, do you see yourself in years to come as a granddad gaming still?
Oh, I can't wait. The only downside of playing games with my young son now is he's a lot better than I am. So I really have to try to beat him.
Yeah, right. Okay, you have to up your game. Here, stay there for 1 second because Sarah sent me this. We may have found Dublin's oldest gamer.
My mum is 72 and she's been playing games for years. She used to, like when we were kids, be upstairs playing Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and Mario Brothers, and she used to tell my dad that she was just folding washing, but she loves games and she has loads of games on her iPad. She just loves it. I don't see any harm in it. I think it's good for people to have something to do, especially now, but I would be got mad if they were on it like all day every day.
Fair enough. Thank you, Sarah. 72, is that what she said her man was? Ronan,
how's it going?
Also games every night?
Yeah, I'd say definitely 6 out of the 7 nights.
And how long would you be on it each night?
So I stream as well, and I usually end up streaming for about 2 hours. And obviously that can push on to 3 or 4, depending on if you're enjoying yourself or if the stream is going well. But I mean, I have a full-time job. I have 2 kids. I'm married. Pay all my bills, and I basically look at it as just a way to relax in the evening time. It's not affecting me in any negative way. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and the way I kind of look at it is it's pretty much the same as sitting down after a hard day's work and watching Netflix or watching TV.
Okay, so it's just a different type of escapism, basically.
Yeah, but also, I mean, you have to look at gaming, like the community around gaming as well is phenomenal in terms of, there's a lot of support out there. We run a community called the Republic of Players. It's an Irish gaming community, and I mean the support that we have on that in terms of if anyone has, a mental health issue, we're there to support and give advice. Also, we do look at the negative effects of somebody that's gaming, literally all day. Like
that's what I was about to say, because when I hear, and he says he's nothing else to do at the moment because he's out of work, but 4 to 6 hours a day is a long time.
So I would be more looking at the 6 hours. 6 hours, every single day. If it is kind of affecting, your life in terms of, if you have kids and they're missing out on time with you, or if you're not getting the bills paid because you can't go to work because you're literally addicted
strung
to
out
gaming.
on it, yeah. I suppose it's like anything, Ronan. You can become addicted to it.
Oh, you can, yeah. And I work in a training centre, and I work with young people. And I mean, a lot of, especially young boys who come in, not to say that girls don't game either, they do, but a lot of young boys, they really get caught up in the gaming scene.
And spend far too long at it.
And they are on it like literally 8 hours
a day.
I mean, some people I've met are on it 12 hours a day.
On a serious note, Ronan, if somebody is, as the, if you're affected by any of these issues, as they say, who would you talk to?
At the moment, because it's such a new illness that's actually been passed by the World Health Organization, gaming addiction. There's very few people to talk to apart from people that actually are in the scene.
Have been in the same situation,
that have that kind of.
So it's kind of like alcoholics swapping notes.
Well, I suppose
that's what AA meetings are all about, is supporting each other.
You're not trying to talk to somebody that's also addicted to gaming. You're trying to talk to somebody who has that balance in their life. They have,
yes, of course, yeah.
They have
actually,
the kids.
Ronan, it's a fascinating conversation. I'd love to continue with you, but unfortunately, I'm out of time. But I might come back to this conversation about being completely strung out on gaming. But unfortunately, time has caught up with us. That's it from us for today. Thank you for listening. Barry Dunn is on the way, and in the next hour, he's got some great music lined up, like these.
Used to be giants. When did we stop?
98 FM.